Yo, what's up? My name is Gabrius. This is my first tutorial, like ever. I've never done a tutorial like this before, and so sorry if I'm horrible at explaining the things I did to my beat, but just bear with me. You know, it's my first time recording a video like this. But anyway, I'm gonna show you today how to make a Kankan type beat. These beats might sound super complicated as a final product, but when you understand what's going on, they're pretty simple. Honestly, most of the melodies are just random synths and presets that I just find. So yeah, let's get started. So I started with the Serum preset. It's called Defiant. It's not a melody, or it's not like a main melody or anything. I changed some of the envelopes right here and this LFO. So it might not look the same. If you want to use this preset, it might not look the same, but I just adjusted it so it looked like this. And I took a lot of the low end away. So without any effects, well, apart from the EQ, this is what it should sound like. So just to spice it up a little bit, I added this gross beat, and I added a 1/3 gate, and I reduced it to 1/2, so it sounds like this. So if I decided to change the little mixer to 100%, it would sound like choppy, and I didn't really want to do that with this sound, so that's what it would sound like. So that's not like a main melody or anything. It's just an effect I found, and I wanted to build a beat around it. So I found another effect in Serum, and it's called Run the Harm, and it's in the synth section. I don't think I changed anything on this preset. What I did change was, instead of lowering it like a normal person, I decided to bring all the frequencies down. But I mostly brought down the low end, and I kept more of the high end. So this is what it should sound like. So the reason I took a lot of the low end away was just because I wanted you to be able to hear the little sparkling effect. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And then this is when it gets more interesting. Well, not really interesting, but this is the main lead. So for this, I brought a lot of the low end down. A lot of the high end down, and some of the low end down. I didn't really change anything. I think I changed some of the envelopes. I like to make my envelopes square with these leads. So here is what it sounds like. For this second part of the pattern, it's literally just the first part, just an octave up. And I like to do this with a lot of my leads and these Kankan type beats, because I just like how it changes the energy of the beat. And it's not anything super noticeable. It is pretty noticeable, but it's not anything that can really bother you, if that makes sense. But after that, I added these strings from Purity. It's called Mellow Tring, and I also took the release away in this, and I took some low end away. This is just to add a little bit more ambience, so it's not anything too noticeable. So here's what this sounds like. So yeah. Oh, and then I added, this is the main chord progression. It's called Circling Orch, and I think I changed the envelopes in here too, and I took a lot of the low end away and added a lot of high end. And then for this, I just added this EQ and just completely took away the low end, just so it wouldn't crash with the 808 or anything. And I also panned it a lot to the left, because I think after I changed some of the settings in the preset, it only sounded loud on the right side of the speakers. So I just panned it to the left just so it'd be more centered. So it sounds like this. Sorry. So yeah, it's pretty much it for the melodies or whatever. So let's get into the percussion. So all the sounds I used for the percussion came from this Dead Boy Aiden Vampire drum kit. This drum kit's honestly amazing. Shout out to Aiden, that's my guy. But yeah, so I like to add a lot of rolls to my 808 patterns with these type of beats, and I like to play with the sensitivity a lot, just to spice it up or something. I don't know what I'm saying, to be honest. I am so sorry for anyone that's listening to me right now. But anyway, here is what the 808 sounds like. So yeah, as you can see, I added a lot. I can't talk. I added a lot of rolls, and I like to do this thing where like the sensitivity like changes like upwards, just so I don't know. It sounds pretty cool. So yeah, I changed the end right here. The rest of the like most of the pattern is just the same thing, just looped for 8 bars except for this end part. So I think adding like a higher note like adds more like hype to the end of the pattern, but I don't know, that might be just me, but that's what I like to do. Oh yeah, and for this, I just brought up the low end right here, and I made this like more stereo, just so the beats just so the 808 sounds wider and you can like feel it more, if that makes sense. I don't know. But that's what what's oh my god, I cannot talk. That's what I do with most of my 808s. I just make them wider. So after this, I made the hats. So here is what the hat pattern sounds like. So this first half of the pattern is what I laid down for like the chorus or the hook, and then for the verse, I wanted to change up like the energy of the beat. So I changed this hi-hat pattern, and this is what it sounds like. So the rolls are like the same exact thing. I just changed the main like progression into like just triplets because I think it just sounded nice. I added reverb on this, took away all the low cut and took away some of the wetness, but nothing much really apart from that. This is just a simple clap. For this clap, I just brought up the high end just so it would be a little bit more noticeable. This is just a regular snare. I just brought the high end a little bit down, and then made it a little bit louder in the mixer. I added an open hat. So here's what that sounds like. Oh. So for this, I didn't really change anything. I made it quieter, but I'm actually gonna make it a little bit louder. I don't know why I made it so quiet. And yeah, honestly, that's pretty much all the sounds I use. It's like most of the time when I make these beats, it's honestly just random sounds that like sound cool together. It's not anything like too like complex. Like you barely even need to know like a lot about music theory if you want to make like these type of beats, if I'm being honest. But yeah, let's get into the arrangement of the beat. So for the intro, I like to bring in like all the percussion instantly, just to bring energy into the intro of the beat. But I didn't put every sound together in the intro. Like I just selected 3. So here's what these 3 sound like together. This is actually, hold on, let me show you each one individually. So this is the chord progression. This is the lead, and then this is that first sound effect I showed you. So these 3 together should sound like this. And then after that, I just laid down the hats, 808, clap, and the snare. So once those first 8 bars are done, I brought in the rest of the sounds. Oh, and I also brought in the open hat. So I decided to bring these in later, just to add more energy into like the second half of the intro, and then I also cut off the percussion right here, just to change it up a little bit. So for the verse, I laid down the lead and the purity strings. So this is what these sound like together. And I brought in just the 808, the hat, and the clap. And then this is when the second half of the hat pattern comes in. So it sounds like this. And then I bring in the first effect I showed you, this. Just add a little bit more ambience, and I also bring in the snare and the open hat. And then I cut off the percussion right here and just leave the melodies going. And then between the verse and the hook, I like to add like 8 bars to transition back into the hook. So for this, I just selected this effect, and then the purity strings. And then I just added the 808 just to keep the energy. So for the beginning of the hook, I cut off the percussion for the first 2 bars. And then I just bring them back in just to add like more hype to the beat. And I just cut off the percussion right here. Then add the open hat, just add more bounce. So apart from that, I just arrange the beat the same way I arrange like the first half. So this part of the verse is arranged the same way I arranged this, except I just changed the sounds. So instead of the lead, I brought this in. So it just sounds a little bit different. I don't want to keep it the same the whole time. So yeah, that's what that sounds like together. But yeah, apart from that, it's just the same percussion arrangement. And then I just isolate the 808 right here again. And then I go back into the hook the same way I did the first time, just so I don't have to change too much. And then for the outro, I like to just select like a few sounds, like maybe 2 or 3. So I selected the lead and the main chord progression right here. And then for the next 4 bars, I bring in the rest of the sounds. So yeah, it's pretty much how I arrange my beats. I know like it's like I can make it like way more complex and add like more like cuts and like transitions, and like if you want you can add like a love filter or like grow speed effects or whatever you want, but just for the sake of this I'm just gonna keep it simple. So after I arrange my beats, I usually just add like effects and I add my tag. Here's what my tag sounds like.
Hey Gabrius.
So I think it's pretty cool, but if there's anyone out there that wants to make a tag for me, I'd really appreciate that. My Instagram is @xgabrius, so hit me up. Wow, I cannot talk. Hit me up if you wanna, do a producer tag for me. But apart from that, I just added this hat sound effect. It's like one of my favorite effects. Why am I saying so much? Oh my god. For this, I took away a lot of the low end, and just raised the high end a little bit. Added some delay, brought it down a little bit just so it wasn't, too noticeable. And added some reverb too. I took the low cut away. So it should sound like this. So yeah, it's honestly pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am so sorry for how bad I am at explaining this, but it's you gotta bear with me. It's my first time doing a tutorial. Let's hope I get better over time, because I don't want to be this garbage at beat tutorials for the rest of my life. So thank you for watching this. Like it, subscribe, and yeah, that's pretty much it.